ladies and gents. Romie Reviews here. Please like, comment, subscribe. This is my review for The Real Housewives of Potomac. Reunion Part 2 to Episode 20. So the episode actually starts off with Giselle coming back, and she's just saying how Karen's had to deal with so much and be so strong. I really respect her, and Giselle even shed a tear, showing that she really does care about Karen. And I said, I never thought that you didn't. My problem is the way how you were showing it on the show irked me. I understand that Karen, when some mess was going on with Giselle, Karen did the same thing to her. So I understand. I understand. Karen now comes back onto the show and, well, I should say the stage, and playing with kid gloves, again, going over the information that we know that her father passed 2 weeks ago from the time of the shoot of the reunion, and they buried him that past Thursday. Very stressful for her, but she's there to do what she needs to do, and so they're going to move forward with that. Now, again, Giselle and Karen kind of go over the fact that their friendship's one of those where it's a real friendship. They've been friends and they've known each other for so long that they'll get past this and they'll be on to something else by next season, which I already knew. But you have to use the word friend loosely. So then Andy said, well, why can't we make this whole Candace and Giselle thing happen? I don't think Candace and Giselle have a real issue with each other. I just think that they're in two different places of their lives. And so Giselle doesn't take Candace too seriously. And I don't think she ever wanted to begin with. I think she just wanted to have someone new, fresh, and fun. And so once Candace kind of felt offended that, hey, I'm a real person, just not like a fun prop all the time, but you're not taking the issues that I have seriously, that's the tussles that they personally have. And that happens a lot. Now we're talking about Sherman. So apparently Giselle and Sherman, they're doing okay. And when I say okay, I mean Giselle said that her and Sherman are in counseling. Sherman's been calling her multiple times a day. So as soon as the filming got done, they probably started to communicate again. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happened. I would not be surprised if that's what happened. Interestingly enough. But that leaves in the big thing of Giselle now gets to say how pissed she was. Wait, hold on. What's going on with Charisse? So, yes, Charisse, she is single. She's dating. Her divorce is finalized. Her house is being sold. Well, it's on the market. See, and this is where we get to the crux of this. And this is what I'll say about this. I understand that I actually get where Giselle's coming from. And it's interesting because at some point during this reunion, Monique does say that she regrets what she did to Sherman. She regrets putting that out there or helping that message being spread. Well, she was the one who actually said it, so putting that out there. She regrets that. She regrets the negative impact that it had on him, his family. And so over here, I'm thinking, okay, accountability is cool. I just don't know if it's too late, because it is, and this is the one thing I will say with Giselle being right about. You didn't just say it once, and it's not like all this happened in a matter of a couple of days. This was spaced out. Conversations were being had. It started with the whole, really befriending Kendall, which was petty because of the conversations that were being had. You wanted Kendall to express her side. There's no problems with, I have no problem with that. She's an individual. She's a person. She deserves to have her side being said if she's going to be on the show. Giselle talks about how Kendall, ever since the show was thought of, was trying to audition for season 1 and 2. That did not work. Season 3, she got on because it was Giselle was dating her ex. And that was the storyline. I can believe that. I can absolutely believe that. What I don't like is Giselle calling her horse face and things like that. I'm thinking, Giselle, if you're supposed to be growing, supposed to be above this stuff, why are you calling another woman by her looks? just because you don't like her. You can say you don't like her. You can say her personality is trash. But to go and do horse face, like how, it's like I try and I try and I try, but it just doesn't work. But back to how I feel about Monique trying to skate through on this. I said, Monique, let's call a thing a thing. I'm the type of person where sometimes I apologize just to apologize, just so we can move on. I don't expect other people to do that, especially if they don't feel like they're in the wrong. But you do have to take a certain level of accountability and know that what you're doing may have started off as petty, but it got really nasty and evil. And yes, you did acknowledge that there. But the fact that there's a huge difference between you saying something once, doing something once, and then doing it multiple times. Because not only did you do that with Kendall, you went to Ashley and spewed that same information to Ashley because you wanted to be the messy one that time. And I'm thinking, whoa, what does this have to do with Giselle? Because I understand there's a huge difference between being the person getting accused or being actually arrested for paying the prostitute versus being someone who was dating someone who had a rumor like that. So that's why I could not rock with Monique with that. I could not for the life of me. And I looked at her like, this part's irritating me because we're not going to get anywhere. Because she apologized to Sherman, who of course isn't going to be on there to accept that apology because it came out of left field. And no one, even the people that didn't really like Giselle, came at Giselle with that stuff. And so Monique definitely, I think saw herself and saw the direction that the show was going and thought that, I'm either going to find a way to befriend the people that I don't like or really cut them where it hurts. So that's the thing that irked me. Now, we're going to move on from that. Okay. I understand Karen was friends with her. And this is the other thing with Charisse. I don't care what anyone says. Charisse, just because Charisse, the way how she answers stuff definitely makes it sound like she's backpedaling. She acknowledges that she was being very petty. So I appreciate and respect that portion. The part that I don't get is, how are we putting this all on Monique? I've been calling her Moniece. Oh my God. Monique took the baton and ran with it. And so it's both people's faults. Getting Kendall onto the show, Charisse, and then Monique taking it way out of bounds. Because this isn't about Giselle anymore. This is about someone who really didn't have much to do with the show, period. So what would have happened if we could dug up some stuff on Chris and gone after Chris? That's where I think I'm going with this. That's the part that has me looking at this like, because Kendall didn't even say too much about Giselle. She said enough. She definitely said enough, but not too much. And Charisse, the only reason why Charisse is getting away with this is because Charisse ended up acknowledging it in detail. And after acknowledging it, Charisse did only do the bare minimum. When Charisse saw Kendall, she was like, wait a minute, what is she doing here, actually here? So that got me to believing, Now, do I believe that Monique just used Charisse's contacts? No. Do I think that Charisse absolutely at some point said, well, I have this and I have that going on? Because she did that the first 2 seasons. We know Charisse has that in her. I believe that Charisse really liked Monique, and because she really liked Monique, she did her Charisse thing of, why don't you go talk to this person? I'll put you in contact with that person. That's what she does. It is. We're not making this stuff up. This is exactly what she does. And so that part I could not rock with Charisse. Okay, so we're going to skip ahead to the men being on the show. So now the husbands / significant others are on the show. And why don't we have to start things off with Chris, as in Candace's Chris, and talking about his unit? I'm skipping over that. And his response was funny about, Giselle, do you have a hue card so we can tell? I said, okay, you can roll with it. We appreciate that. Roll with it, because there's going to be a lot you're going to have to roll with. They do talk about, hey, what's going on with, and I told Oh yeah, so I was on vacation. So I told the people that I was on vacation with that Chris's storyline with his family is 10 times more interesting than Candace's entire storyline. And that's when we get Chris's oldest son hasn't replied back to him. Chris continues to reach out, as he should. His oldest son has not said anything in response. And the real story is what happened. What happened with them, what happened with the mom, because that is huge. We also talk about how Candace said essentially that she was lowering her standards and expectation for a spouse by going with someone who was already married and also with kids and all of that. And Candace realized what she said was wrong. And I'm glad that she said that point blank, because there is no way around it. That was some ish stuff to say. What? What was that? Messed up stuff. Now let's see. After that, we have Chris talking about, it kind of confuses him how this group is supposed to be supportive and it's a bunch of grown women and it's great. But then you have this opposite side. And I said, that's how it is in real life. It's not even on TV. That's how it is on real life. Now, I do understand that he was really hurt by, because of how things were, because of how people viewed his wife's actions this season. They made it very easy for them to go and be even more mean and more harsh and say, oh, it's because of the drinking, that's why you had a miscarriage. Some horrible, horrendous mess like that. And then he was also concerned that Charisse has actually been a really great friend, and Monique is very loyal. I mean, Monique is very loyal. Why would you actually believe she would do something to harm you or cause blame? Now we get to the crux. We get to Ray, or as Forts Rock says, Uncle Ben. Ray doesn't understand how people really ran with this whole bankruptcy story, with these whole homes thing. Because yes, we live at the house. And I think it was then that Karen said, you know, and thank you, Robin, for at least acknowledging, yes, my bag was on the counter. I was home. I was supposed to answer any doors. Like, what's the, I do. And then that's when Giselle and Robin and all of them say, we just wanted to help you out, lay these rumors to rest, because this is what the streets were saying. This is what people are actually saying. And we wanted to clear your name for you since you weren't going and giving us information. And that's when Andy was trying to ask Ray, so how much? No, you weren't getting that. Well, is it cleared up? Yes. How is it cleared up? They're paying. Great. Done. Finito. Move on. But we can't move on because now this is where Michael comes in. Michael comes in and gets to talk about how, I just find it very odd that, and we all do, so it's not just Michael. I just find it very odd that you would go and rent this home and pay more for renting it than your actual mortgage at your other house. That made no sense at all. Even though I agreed, that's not the point. The point is, why does it matter to you? And then I had to remember, dang it, this is some of the stuff that I forget. Karen, because of her stuff going on with Ashley, she did aid in bringing in that whole thing about Ashley's husband and that picture. I didn't look at the picture, so I didn't know. Like, obviously I knew the picture was around, but I had no interest in seeing that mess. But people, and almost everyone's saying that just looking at Michael period doesn't even look like remotely the same person. The only thing that matches is they're both white and both likely older. So I said, oh, there's a lot of men that fit that description. So I get Michael being upset because that was being thrown into the forefront. Michael even brought his passport and said, hey, this is my passport. this will, and of course, international, because they're saying over there had to get stamped, which I said that's true. So I would have had to, this would be a record, an indication of, and this is the date for when it was originally issued. So we can go and test that if you want. I said, Michael, okay, cool, we're done. But now this has to be done because your wife is messy. Your wife is very messy. Very messy. That's why a lot of this stuff happens in the first place, because of how messy she is. Oh, they did bring up the fact that Karen's friend, his name is, what is it, Andy? No, not Andy. The white guy. The white, he said that he's very nice and he's actually befriending most of the cast. But they just feel like it's kind of weird because if Karen, and I do believe this is true, if Karen has issues with some of the people, why are you befriending everyone? And so that's when Ashley was insinuating that he was saying some stuff. And so Candace said, hey, he is cool, as you said. What I will say, Karen, is he does talk a lot about some of the other cast members, and it's kind of weird that he would go and say this stuff, certain things to me. So I would just have a conversation with him, let him know, hey, like, oh, maybe you're doing too much. Maybe you're doing too much. Now, I don't know if he's trying to go and get intel and bring it back to Karen. That's 100% possible. But clearly no one's giving up any of the goods because Karen will have had some receipts. But there's that. And now we get the confirmation that he's just someone that works on Karen's team. To do what exactly? We don't know. Because it's never clear. It's never clear. Oh, Lord. And then he brought in, now this is the part where I said, we need to stop this. Talking about the tax return, saying, oh, well, how can you really say that you didn't know, Karen? And how can you really say, Ray, that you were familiar with the details when whenever I sign something, especially to do with taxes, I have to go and do this, I have to go and do that. And Ray just had this look of, if you wanted to get an answer, show me some respect. Just a little bit. Oh, Aretha. Now we get to Blue Eyes. Monique has talked to Blue Eyes. Sharice's seen Blue Eyes. Everyone knows who Blue Eyes is. He's supposed to be the bodyguard for when Karen goes out to events, because when last time she was mugged, she was terrified. So ever since then, she's had a bodyguard. That's fine. She has the money to do it. That's fine. And Ashley said some crazy rumor about how Karen was seen being embraced by Blue Eyes and he was, filling up on her butt and all this. And Ray, and this is where things got interesting, because then Ray said, I am fully aware of what people are saying with this whole Blue Eyes thing. What people need to know is that I actually did do my research. I ordered a private eye. I'm not stupid. I ordered a private eye years ago to double check on my wife to see, and they found nothing sold there. I said, now Ray, I don't know if that helped Karen's situation. Okay. I said, Ray, why'd you say? I was like, Ray, why would you say that? Why would you say that? But now Sharice is gone. Sharice is gone. She's out of there. Now we're getting to Ashley. Now we're getting to Ashley and Michael's relationship. Apparently, Ashley and Michael are doing a lot better now. And there wasn't much arguing between people because we found out that Ashley was pregnant. Ashley got pregnant. She was 2-3 weeks pregnant. And she had a miscarriage. Everyone's face had that look of, damn, like half the room had that look of, damn, this girl gets on my nerves, but I don't want something like that to happen to her. Michael's crying the whole time. And sometimes it does take something drastic for people to really realize how much they love each other. Look, if this means that they're going to work out and Ashley's going to be happier and there's going to be less of this petty mess because she won't have to worry about other people's relationships so much, I'm thankful for that, because Michael said, of course I loved her. It was just a matter of making sure that we were solid. Of course I want to have a child with her. I said, oh, okay, cool, great. We're done there. Monique said, I wouldn't wish that on anyone. No one on this cast would wish that on anyone. And they did even talk about the relationship with Ashley's mom. Things are a lot better, except for between Michael and Ashley's mom. because of what was said, she's still very irked and irritated and hurt. Fine. But she's doing well, and Ashley's mom's boyfriend, he has a job. And I forgot how many years Ashley said he's been unemployed. He has a job. He's taking up more responsibility. And Michael says, yeah, I think he was honestly partially shamed into doing that. Other part was having a hard look in his mirror and realizing, dude, how are you actually doing some type of mess like this? And then Karen gave Ashley the advice of, I know your mom a little bit, and I'm just happy that you two are in a better place, because obviously Karen doesn't have either of her parents anymore, and she's just thankful that Ashley was able to have a kumbaya moment with her mom, because that meant a lot to her, because just seeing that on TV, it was like, oh gosh, Ashley, just work things out with your mommy. Please just work things out with your mommy. Please just work things out. And now that was it regarding that. The show ends with, well, actually, it comes to an end where we see Ashley's music video. Of course, Ashley's beautiful. She looks great in the music video. That was no problem there. For her song to her husband. Even the general song and the music production was okay. It wasn't bad. The problem is that voice. Woo! That voice was so digitized and processed. I said, dang, nowadays we at least try to make it sound like something. How can you look like that but your voice sounds, let me stop. Let me stop. Michael said he actually did appreciate that. I said, great, cute. Do the men still need to be here? No, they can go. So now it's time for everyone to kind of talk about what they care about. And I really don't care. I don't care. It's over. That's it. Thank you for joining me. Please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already done so. And stay tuned, because there's a lot going on. Yes, hard work pays off. Karen closes it out. Life, love, happiness. Yes, yes, yes. And Giselle has an invite to Kansas wedding.